Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is just about what it says it is, the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game. There are an incredibly high number of characters, including everyone from the entire history of the series, a giant number of stages, a full story mode, great gameplay, and it's basically what all the fans of the series could have asked for. But that begs the question, if this is pretty much the ideal Super Smash Bros. Game, then how do they follow it up? Hello all 622 of you, I'm Redkwan, and where does Super Smash Bros. Go from here? I think there could be a real problem for the next game, and I don't think there's one easy solution. It becomes the expectation that each new Super Smash Bros. Game will be better than the last. More characters, stages, and activities will be thrown in, and the games will just generally improve. That's what the fans want, and that's what the fans have come to expect. And luckily for them, up to this point, the Smash team has always been able to deliver on that. But after a game like this, that basically does everything fans want for the series, that makes it really hard to follow up. There are a few different options they could choose, and none of them is exactly ideal. One of these options is to use Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a base for the series going forward. If they did this, Nintendo could take the gameplay that's already in Ultimate and be able to have that to start with already. It would save a whole lot of work, and it would make sure that fans still got to play as the characters they liked from past games. Using it as a base, you could still add in a few more characters, like the beloved Wind Waker fish that says, "Hoi, small fry!" Just do it. So there could still be the excitement over more characters, just without all the work in reworking the others. And Nintendo could also add a different story mode to keep the single player fresh, and different stages, trophies, and such in the games that they were based off of. The advantage is that Nintendo could keep making the games better and better, seeing as they already have a great game base to work with, without taking all the time and effort to rework something similar from scratch. The disadvantage of this, though, is that it just isn't as exciting for fans to have the new Super Smash Bros., which so many people see as their favorite Nintendo series, and has so much anticipation, end up like this. If this happened, I would imagine it wouldn't do nearly as well as if it were built from the ground up. So while it might be easier to make, while still allowing the series to improve, in reality, the fans probably wouldn't be too happy with that direction for the series. But disappointingly, I'm not sure the other options are really much better. Nintendo could try to continue making Super Smash Bros. Games completely new going forward, but either they'll have a hard time topping previous games in the series, or they'll have to keep putting more and more into the game, requiring a lot more work just to keep fans equally satisfied. Putting more and more in just to receive similar sales isn't a very sustainable way to do things. You just end up pouring more and more money in and not getting much more out, which leads to diminishing returns. I don't think that's a great way to do things, and if you aren't topping the previous games in the series, fans will be disappointed. So it seems like there's really no good answer to this. But wait, Redkwan doesn't just give up when there's no reasonable answers. Usually. Let's see if it helps to look at what the real problem here actually is. I'll give you a hint, they really blow. It's the fans! Get it? Yes, the real problem that Super Smash Bros. Will have going forward is the expectations of the fans. With Nintendo series that are more progression-based, like a Mario game for example, people would like them to be better, yes, but it's not so much a matter of it being better as it is that it's different and looks fun. Is Super Mario Galaxy necessarily better than Sunshine? Well, probably, honestly. But the point is that in that kind of situation, it's not that it's a struggle for constant improvement as much as it is changing it up with interesting ideas. With games like Super Smash Bros. Though, people aren't interested in new ideas. They just want to see it stuffed with more stuff, which is a lot less doable long term. Think about it like this, and it might be a little mathematical, so if you don't like math, then, well, get out of here. We don't tolerate people who don't like math. For every character added, it takes more work for them to fit it in. When you only have one character, you just have to make sure they're balanced against themselves. When you have two, that's doubly hard, because you need to have them balanced against themselves and the other character. When you have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 69 unique characters, each one has to be balanced against 69 movesets. I'm not saying that adding that last character takes 69 times longer than the first. It could be less, it could even be more. But the idea is that the more characters you add, the more work it is to add characters. But it's the opposite for fans, because fans see the number of characters as proportional. If you go from 2 fighters to 4, that's way more impactful than going from 60 to 62. If you went from 2 to 4, fans would be really excited because you doubled the number of fighters. But going from 60 to 62 probably wouldn't affect fans at all, as you're only changing a small number in the grand scheme of things. Even though adding fighters 61 and 62 is a lot harder than adding 3 and 4. So while adding more characters becomes harder and harder for developers, it becomes less and less valuable to fans. The only way I see to solve this problem is to try to change Super Smash Bros. From a type of game where people expect more, to a game more like Mario. What? I wasn't done. As I was trying to say before being rudely interrupted by myself, the solution to the problem is to make Super Smash Bros. More like Mario, and that the fans expect the new game to be great, not because of the larger number of things in it, but because it does new things and has some cool ideas. What should those things be exactly? I don't really know. I know the competitive aspect is huge for Smash, so making the gameplay really wacky would probably upset the fans. There are definitely things they could do to make it more interesting though. If nothing else, just put a bigger focus on the story mode, keeping the competitive aspect largely the same, and just get people more excited about the single player adventure. So yeah, that's where I think Super Smash Bros. Needs to go from here. I don't think glorified ports will get people excited enough, and just trying to cram more stuff in isn't helping anybody. The future of the series needs to be taking it in a new direction, or somehow getting people excited about something more than the massive new roster. Well, I'm Redkwan. Where do you think the Super Smash Bros. Series goes from here? Anyways, I'm Redkwan, thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Goodbye.